Have you ever wondered why God allowed polygamy in the Bible? This fact often goes unnoticed, yet it's a profound and complicated question. As we delve into the scriptures, we find intriguing instances of polygamy. It's a topic that has sparked much debate and fostered confusion. Today we will pull back the veil on this complex issue, navigating the intricacies of biblical interpretations and viewpoints. So hold tight as we embark on this journey. Let's delve into the historical and cultural context of polygamy in the Bible. To understand why God allowed polygamy, we must first understand the historical context. In the era when the Bible was penned, society looked very different from what we know today. The societal norms were not just distinct but almost alien to our modern sensibilities. During this time, polygamy was a common practice, not just a religious one. But why? One crucial factor to consider is the role of women in ancient societies. Women were often seen less as independent entities and more as caretakers of the home and progenitors of the family line. In this context, having multiple wives could mean more hands to manage household chores and more children to carry on the family lineage. Moreover, survival in those times was no small feat. Large families were not just a symbol of prosperity, but a necessity for survival. They provided the manpower required for labor-intensive tasks like farming and offered protection against hostile groups. Additionally, the absence of modern social welfare systems meant that widows and orphaned girls often found themselves destitute. In such cases, becoming a part of a polygamous family could provide them with much-needed security and support. It's also important to remember that these societal norms were not unique to the cultures in which the Bible was written. Many societies around the world practiced polygamy for similar reasons. So we see the culture and time greatly influenced the practice of polygamy. Now let's look at polygamy in the biblical context. There are several instances where we see polygamy being practiced. Let's consider some of the key figures. Abraham, revered as the father of faith, had more than one wife. Jacob, who wrestled with God himself, also had multiple wives. Then we have David, a man after God's own heart, and Solomon, the wisest king, who both had numerous wives and concubines. However, it's important to note that the Bible doesn't explicitly condone polygamy. It simply records it as a fact of life during that time. These stories are not endorsements, but reflections of the cultural context. In many cases, the narrative even points out the troubles that arose from these polygamous relationships. Now let's fast forward to the New Testament. Here, the concept of marriage undergoes a significant shift. Jesus in his teachings and Paul in his letters consistently uphold the model of monogamy. They refer back to the Genesis account where God created one man and one woman, thereby establishing the original design for marriage. So, while polygamy was prevalent, it was not God's ideal. The New Testament reaffirms this. So, what can we learn from this discussion? Well, it's essential to remember that the Bible, like any other historical document, is a reflection of the time and culture in which it was written. As we delve deeper into biblical narratives, we learn more about the customs, traditions, and societal norms of the era. This doesn't mean that everything chronicled in the Bible is an endorsement or a command from God. Rather, it's more of a mirror, reflecting the world as it was during those times. The presence of polygamy in the Bible is one such reflection. It was a common practice during the time and was not unique to the biblical narrative. But the Bible isn't just a historical text. It's a spiritual guide that contains timeless truths about God's character, His love for humanity, and His plan for redemption. These truths transcend cultural and historical boundaries, and are as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago. In the case of polygamy, while it was practiced, the Bible's narratives also highlight the strife and discord that often accompanied these arrangements. This gives us insight into God's ideal for marriage, a monogamous relationship based on love, respect, and commitment. In the end, the Bible teaches us about God's grace, love, and redemption. We must remember this when interpreting its complex narratives. The Bible is much more than a record of human behavior. It's a testament to God's enduring love and His desire for a relationship with us.